What is going on, YouTube? It's your boy Southpaw Brad here. I am way past due in getting some stuff done, so I thought I would maybe catch everybody on if you're on the East Coast, you're on the drive home, so maybe you can tune in the car or something. But I was just going to go through some books. The stack continues to grow. I've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And of course, as I've mentioned previously, I've not stopped buying. It's just stuff's accumulating. At this point, I'm going to have to invest in some additional boxes, some short boxes for things. But I'm going to try to get through 2 packages today. And I think we got some good stuff to share with you. And first off, I want to thank everyone who has been watching, supporting the channel. I'm super excited. I just realized yesterday that I hit 100 subscribers. So that's my first big milestone. So congratulations to me, but thank you for for the support and checking in and seeing what it is that I'm up to and what I'm doing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You guys are the best, and I don't know that words really can't put into words really don't do it justice. So thank you so much for tuning in, checking out what this old crazy guy from South Carolina is doing, and sharing in the hobby with me. I appreciate you guys so much. So without further ado, I'm gonna get in. Oh boy, what's up, Ty Locks? How are you doing, man? I'm gonna post this just in case anybody wants to hop in. I've been catching you briefly here and there, but we haven't been feel like I hadn't seen you in a while. So I know you're getting back into your pool list and everything. So but it is certainly good to see you here. And I have no idea. I got to talk to you sometime because I have no idea what your current schedule is. I know it's all over the place, but or I know it switched. It's not all over the place. I know it changed, but you did mention that you've got more days off, but it does affect your Jimmy G. What's going on, man? Hope you're doing well, and I appreciate you checking in. It's always good to see you. Well, we were hanging out last night in the chat for a bit, as a matter of fact, so it was always great to see you around. Circumstances, what's going on? So now I don't have to see your comment that, dang, I just missed Southpaw Brad's live event. So I appreciate you coming by, buddy. It was good hanging out with you last night, celebrating Sean Slim Comics, celebrating his 1,000 subscriber. And while you're live now. You're live now? We got to start letting each other letting each other know when we're going live. Shoot you a text or something. I should do that, but I was just like, man, it's been a while since I've done a live for an unboxing. Now I do my comic book haul, but yeah, give me a shout, man. I'll be around this evening. Absolutely, man. It's awesome. Awesome to see you guys. So yeah, so it was great hanging out, celebrating Sean's 1,000 subscriber. I don't know many people who go into this thinking that 1,000 people will be interested in what I'm doing, much less, a handful. Rude, what's going on, buddy? I hope you're doing well, man. Thank you for swinging by. I appreciate you. And so I don't know that we get into this thinking that we're going to have like, a lot of people interested in what we have to say. So it's like, it's humbling when people pay attention to what you're doing, and support what you're doing. So it was nice to be in the chat last night, and I tried to get on, but the line was long to get on that show last night. So that's good for him, man. He deserves it. I know he's a busy man with family and work, and as a lot of you guys are, and but he still has time to support support people. And yeah, he had a great show last night, man. That was great. I was just so excited for him and happy. I realized in that show, because I subbed to some people I didn't know and got some subs. And in the middle of that show, I realized I hit 100 subscribers. So that was my first milestone. I think I did my first video back in August of last year. And man, when I started, people weren't lying when they said that first 100 is the hardest. It's tough to, man. It's like running gassers uphill and in on the beach or something. Running on beach sand or something. I know I didn't. I figured we were. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, buddy. I figured I didn't know he had so many people lined up to do it. So I was like, hey, I'll just back out and be in the chat. And I was trying to like share people's Instagram who were on the panel. So, trying to be a support in another way. So he knows I'm excited for him. But I know, man, I need to talk to you about that. I'm wondering what you're thinking. I mean, what you've been doing has been, you gotten good feedback on what you've been doing. So I'm wondering, I'm just curious what you're thinking. You've been saying that for a little while. Hey man, I haven't even opened the first box yet. Minutia Minute. So you're in for the long haul. In fact, if any of you guys want to hop in here with me, I'm going to post this link. Y'all need, if you're not subscribed to Minutia Minute, go check him out. My absolute favorite. Well, I won't say my favorite. He does every week Batman, reviewing all the Batman books. And it's always fun to watch, primarily to see if week in and week out, if Detective Comics continues to be number one on his list. So yeah, it's awesome, man. You're one of the first couple in the door, man. That's awesome. So okay, all right. Interesting. I thought you had you still got a cool angle, man. I love your weekly stuff prepares me for my week, if that makes sense. Like you do in advance of new comic book day, the new comic book picks for that week. I've liked that. I've liked the covers. I like your graphics. I'm envious and super jealous of your graphics. Yeah, Detective. I'm waiting on the day. I'm going to keep watching until one day Detective Comics gets unseated as the top Batman book of the week. So, Mark Spector Comics, what is going on, man? I was looking through. I try to catch like a couple of shows I haven't seen in a while, and you're on my list. So my morning coffee, I always go back and say, all right, who haven't I watched in a little while? And you're on my list. I did enjoy your honest. You had some questions about where some maybe more famous comic book YouTube content creators, some of their questioning some of their numbers, and I appreciated the honesty, and also appreciated their response to your questions about that. So yeah, good stuff, man. Keep it up. You're yeah, man, it was good stuff. So I'm you're on my list. I've got several of you guys always try to go back and see if there's anything new. So because the people who, I like to support a lot of people, but I'm very particular if people are, if I have a rapport with them and we're watching each other's videos, it makes it easier for them to be the first ones they're the ones I want to see. They're the ones I want to watch. So what is going on? Nowhere Bound. How are you doing, man? I appreciate you swinging by. Thank you so much for popping in. So yeah, I like to support the guys, but back to my point on Marcus, well, there's several things that you do that I like, and shoot, man, if you wanna touch base on a little spec stuff, man, we could team up and do something every once in a while too. I just enjoy I enjoy all that stuff, and you've got a flair for the dramatic with your skills, with your editing skills. Sorry about that, folks. Hit the old laptop stand. So yeah, man, do whatever you guys, everybody does something a little different. So do what you enjoy, whatever you enjoy doing. You all are very knowledgeable folks, man. I appreciate that. But I was saying, Minutia Minute, if you have not only do I like the Batman, holy cow, look at you, man. Nice. Very nice. Cool, man. Yeah, if you aren't subbed to anybody in the chat here, I pretty much wait, Jimmy G, do you have a channel? I see you in the chats all the time, and I'd have to go back and look at my list of subs to see, but let me know in the chat, and anybody that wants to sub each other up and take a look if you aren't. But Minutia Minute, not only do I like the Batman feature, but I also enjoy he did a great rundown. It's kind of overwhelming for me as a, let me slide this over a bit while I'm sorting. It's a little overwhelming for me as a, well, I always consider myself a Star Wars fan. And I guess by Star Wars fan, I mean, somebody who enjoyed and loved the movies as a kid. But I had no idea that people were as into this stuff as they are. So I feel like a fool when I'm doing this. So we had kind of mentioned that Minutia Minute. I think I actually convinced him to join Instagram, I believe. And so hopefully that's working out for you. Hey, but you had Nowhere Bound. You had a great video opening some recent additions to your collection. Some Silver Age goodness, I believe. Nice stuff though. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, and I appreciate the support, man. You're always in the chat checking us out, so I appreciate it. Okay, cool. I need to go back and double check, man. I may already be subscribed, but Jimmy G, I'm going to put you on my list of stuff to check out. I may already be subscribed, but you're going to go on my list, my morning coffee, and catch up with YouTube folks. So thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. I know you keep saying that, but I feel inadequate. Because some of these people are like just reciting like non-canon stuff, and cool, man. That's awesome. I'm glad you guys are subbing up, and I'll catch you. Awesome. Look at that, Jimmy G. We're picking up a couple subs here, buddy. So yeah, let's that hashtag grow together, man. It works. It really works. So yeah, you mentioned that to me before, Minutia Minute, but I still feel inadequate. I was always such a fan of the movies, and consider myself, bought all the toys. I mean, everything, man. I had to have the Star Wars, the actual Star Wars poster. Had to have it. And let's see, just trying to get all this stuff straight for you guys. And, you know, so it was like, all right, these are all together. All right, so yeah, I just had to have everything Star Wars. I had the sheets, I had everything. So I was super excited about that. But there's guys who can just recite the non-canon stuff. I mean, they're just like throwing out all these facts, and I just about don't even chime in because for fear of sounding stupid. But I do enjoy it. But go check out Minutia Minutes. Star Wars, he talks about the chronology, which was one of the things that confused me. He's read the books and the comics, or just the books? Remind me on that. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, and you guys, Mark's got a great channel. Nowhere Bound's got a great channel. So yeah, awesome, man. Look at this, making connections, baby. That's how we do it. I love it. So yeah, go check that out. Do yourself a favor if you're feeling like I just didn't know where everything fit in, and he did a great job of comic books and short stories. Okay, and so just did a great job of like putting everything in perspective. So it was a huge help. I told you it was a huge help for me being needing to catch up on all this stuff. So it's just funny, man. When these trailers hit, I have to go look up who these characters are, and people are like, "Oh, that was so and so." I'm like, "God, man, I can't keep up." So, all right, let's get into some books. These are some mostly spec books, just things that, stuff that I did. I went down a rabbit hole on a character, and so I picked up some of that character stuff, but pretty cool stuff. I'm going to start off with one that is not related to that, but this is a series I'm reading, The Heathens. This was issue 3, and some of the notorious, I guess villains slash. There's Billy the Kid and like a couple of gangsters from back in the 50s and stuff like pop up in here. They're brought back to. They're basically trying to hunt down Jack the Ripper, so it's kind of an interesting story. This was issue 3. I didn't have it. I realized when I order these books, I need to not order, unless I can't find it. I need to not order books that I'm reading because it stalled my reading of this, and eventually I had to buy it elsewhere because it was sitting in a box over here. I knew I had it, but it was sitting in a box. So I'm taking note and no longer doing that. So it is, man. It is complicated. It is complicated, but it's starting to make sense to me. So I appreciate your insight on that. What is going on, Damien? Sleepy Reader 666. I hope you're doing well, man. Thank y'all for popping in. What is going on, Brother John Comics? Good hanging out with you. Well, both of you guys we had several of us in the chat were hanging out, celebrating Slim Comics. Sean over there with 1,000 subs. I picked up a few subs myself. I mentioned earlier, picked up a few subs myself last night and finally broke the 100 barrier. So I started doing videos way back in August of 2021 and finally broke 100. So that's, so that's exciting. Awesome, man. We are making some connections, man. I'm loving this. Loving it. And Damien's been doing it for a while. Damien, I've got one of yours, your latest. I love Damien's. He ranks the books each week and gives a very detailed description of those, and that one's queued up for me this week as well. I'm looking forward to checking that out. I like watching that one every week. So good stuff. Good stuff. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Well, you guys are all in the chat. You're all a part of it, so I do appreciate it. I know, man. Look at this, man. We're getting some extra subs in here, man. Here he is, the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only Sith Lordly. So great to have you as always. When I first started doing this stuff, man, Sith was he's always around, always building people up always. So it's tough not to on Saturday nights. I hang once 2022 rolled around and work started picking up. Those late Saturday nights have started to dissipate, but I hang in there as long as I can. So I think I made it till about 1 on Saturday. So but always a pleasure to see you, Seth, and we appreciate the support, man. You're always lifting people up and complimentary and good stuff. It's what it's all about. Oh, you're welcome, buddy. Damien's been doing it for a while. If you aren't subbed, I can't imagine nobody in here subbed to Damien, but got to be. Looky here, we got a little special guest pop up backstage here. Ty Locks the Mighty.
What's up?
What's going on, man?
Not much. Just rearranging my desk real quick before I head out the door.
So you got to go. You're working at you're still doing 7 to 7. Is it 7 to 7?
Yeah, 7 to 7. So now I'm doing 7 to 7. It's 12-hour shifts, but the way it works out, I have like 17 days off a month instead of. So my schedule is a swing schedule. So like this weekend I was supposed to work the weekend, but I took a day off because of my birthday, and I'm gonna be on DJ Lynx's channel that night. So. But yeah, normally it's like I'll work the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then the next weekend I'll have off. And then I alternate every 2 days I have 2 days off. Or every couple days I have 2 days off.
So that'll be tough to keep up with, but we'll catch up when you aren't working since it's a float. Because before you didn't work as long. You did 10-hour shifts.
8 hours. I did 8 hours 5 days a week, which for me drives me nuts because it feels like you never have a day off. You just like, wake up, go to work, wake up, go to work. When the weekend rolls around, you got to hurry up and get whatever you're supposed to get done on the weekend.
Sure. Yeah. We need to catch up. I told you I sent you a Christmas card and it never arrived. So the address that I tried to do some recon and my recon work failed miserably. So I need to I'll have to hit you up for your I need to update that sometime. Order of the beanbag is in session. Mm-hmm. It's always nice to have. Yeah, we appreciate you, man. Thanks a lot. I know, man. It's tough I try to catch as much as I can on Saturday nights, but I gotta fund this. At this point, the hobby is not funding itself. My job is funding the hobby, and I can't neglect that job, or there's no more hobby. So
for right now, I foresee in the future one day you offloading all those duplicates you have of everything. One day.
Oh yeah.
And then one day you'll be like, dang, I should have done this years ago.
Yeah, like this one, like this duplicate. Which happens to be
I need to go back and get the issues that I've missed because I really love that book. And if they don't turn that book into like a TV show or a movie or something, I'm gonna be pissed.
Well, you had to have gotten all right, cool, man. People subbing each other up, man. I like to see it. You had to have gotten at least the first 2, I think.
I think I got the first 2. I think maybe
and there's only 5, so the last 5 or 6, the last one's coming.
I think I missed 2, so I'm getting the last one. So I need to get 3 and 4.
Yeah, tell me about it, Jimmy. I hear you. I have 748 subs to catch up on. I know it's a lot to. That's awesome, man. Cool, man. Yeah, if you we got some good folks in the chat, man. Sub them up if you can. So. And they, all put out good content too. So are you officially Tylox the Mullet now instead of Tylox the Mighty? Is that?
It's whatever I type into the bar that day.
It's fluid. Yeah. It's ever changing.
It's fluid.
So you're back on your pull list again.
Yes, I'm back on my pull list.
Nice.
Once again, which is really funny because as soon as I turned it back on. Immediately when I had it off, I went through and I was like, you know what? It's a good time to thin out the herd. So I went ahead and got rid of a whole bunch of stuff that I wasn't too thrilled about reading. And then once I got done with that, I immediately went through what's coming up, that's coming out, and by the time I got done picking stuff that looked interesting to me, I was right back to where I started.
Yeah, it happens, man. Well, I'm glad you were about a month later than you anticipated.
Yes,
But it's good to get you back on track, because I think buying on a regular basis does, at the very least, keep you, when you have a comic book channel and you aren't currently buying comic books, it does make it difficult to create content on a regular basis.
and to be fair, I thought the same thing too until I stopped like having books to pull, and I found out that I still have content. I still can make stuff. It's just not comic book. Like, it was like most of my videos were haul videos or review videos, and then after that, they turned into like interview videos and stuff like that. So,
but you were doing a lot more videos when you were pulling books.
oh yeah. Like, I was literally about to update my StreamYard because I was running out of hours. Like, between all the videos that I was making, I was running out of time.
Which consequently is what Sean should have done last night. He had so many people in the I can't imagine having 1,000 subs and not having the full version of StreamYard, but he has made it work.
I thought he did. I thought he did for like the longest time that he had the full version of it.
I did too. I assumed that he did. Jimmy G, I've stopped with new stuff. I still have over 6,600 books to show off. There you go. Heck yeah. Yeah. I'm still buying some new stuff, but I'm still buying. I'm buying all of it. New stuff, older stuff, whatever suits my fancy. I justify it by saying, it could be a lot worse. I could be spending that money on heroin or something. So comic books is a healthy obsession.
It's a healthier habit.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm gonna share some more stuff here. All right, so this one is one Empire had mentioned, and I think it's a good spec book, just kind of based on what's happening right now. Jimmy G, I think I'm going to definitely have to start selling before I hit 6,000, or I may lose. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. The street values the street heroin, the street values the street value, man. It doesn't, but comics can, they do appreciate. So, but this was an Empire spec book, and a good one. This is Earth X number 4. This is obviously an alternate timeline, but this is the first appearance of Clea as the Sorcerer Supreme, which the Strange book that just came out, she is the Sorcerer Supreme. So cool book. There's several variants of different things in here. There's like a lizard Spider-Man, and you can't go wrong with a pretty sure that's a Ross cover too. So I think he did these alternate versions of these things. So first appearance of Clea as the Sorcerer Supreme. So picked up a couple of those. And I did notice that book when I bought these, they were a couple of bucks, and I saw them spike to about $6 a piece. So that's when I cut it off. It was time to go with something else. What is going on, GP Venom Comics and Collectibles? Good to see you, man. Very good to see you. I've been watching I watched some of your spec stuff the other day. I always try to leave a comment. So if I watch a video, 99% of the time I'm leaving a comment. So I'm pretty sure I commented on it, but very thorough Doctor Strange spec. That was nice. I know. Yeah, you're investing those comics in lighter collectibles that take up less space. And that's not a bad thing either, because I've seen some of those bangers you've been trading the stuff in on. So that's awesome. Absolutely, man. A comic can touch your soul, and it can last a lifetime. Yeah. What's going on, Cole's Comic Claims? How you doing, buddy? Cole's another one. I gotta catch up on some of his stuff, but you've been doing a ton of shorts on Instagram, and that's been a nice little swing for you. Now I haven't seen a bourbon. I haven't seen a bourbon one in a while. I thought I'm going to try and get. They make these 2-ounce bottles, empty bottles. You wash them. You can put samples of whiskey in it and ship them. I thought it'd be cool if we did like a live bourbon review, and we'll send each other, if we don't have it, send each other a 2-ounce bottle of whatever we want to sample and do like a live bourbon tasting. So, yeah. So, did you polish off that stuff I gave you?
No, I still got it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I still got it. I will be sipping on some this Friday when I'm on DJ Lynx's channel.
So Friday is your birthday.
Yes.
Okay.
My
cool.
official 100%, government standard birthday.
Yeah, who wouldn't rather have that Michael Jordan rookie, dude? That is that's some solid stuff there.
I wouldn't mind having that second year Jordan he got here recently.
Yeah, any of them, man. I shared like guy his like 3rd year sticker card, which didn't, most kids were gonna rip that off, rip the sticker off and put it on a notebook or something. So I'm glad to have one intact.
I literally got a new Griffey card in today.
Cool.
That's kind of interesting. It's a card that I had when I was a kid, but this is a version of it that I didn't know existed.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's a pre-production card. So it's like a sample.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Posting the link again, just in case. Damien mentioned that, so it's always good to have Damien around. Just buckets and buckets of knowledge with that guy. Been collecting for a long time, doing YouTube for a long time. So yeah, man, I'm digging all this subbing and stuff that's going on here, man. I'm a fan. So all right, here we go. Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Just wanted to drop in and say hi. It's more fun than just watching.
Absolutely. And it's more fun than just showing. So I'm glad you guys jumped in here.
And I don't know if I've ever been live with Tyler before, with Tylox. I've known him for a long time via YouTube.
Maybe. Because I was thinking the old round table, we might have been on the same.
We might have, we might have been in that old round table. Yeah,
maybe.
That's true. It's hard to remember anymore.
Well,
I don't know if people know that Tylox was deep into the comics community. What, like 7 years ago, 8 years ago?
Like 7, 8 years ago. Yeah.
And then he disappeared, and then he reappeared. and he's dived right into the newer version of the community really well, probably better than I do.
It's hard. Somebody mentioned this, that it's easier for newer channels to get noticed than the guys who've been around for a while, because there's so much.
I would say it's starting to get that way. 100%.
Yeah, well, and the older guys sometimes, like, I'm mostly speaking for myself, maybe don't notice how things have changed.
Yeah.
Like, it took me quite a while to realize, everyone's jumping on these live chats. I didn't know at first that was a thing, because the live chats weren't such a big deal, back when Tylox and I first started.
Google Hangouts.
There was like one live hangout a week or something.
That's it.
Well, and that's how I met you, Damien, was through Tylox.
Oh, right. And that's probably how I subbed you too. Yeah.
Right.
So big thanks to Tylox for doing that community roundtable thing.
Because I think at the time I did we did the Hush review.
Yeah.
We were each given one issue of that story arc that we had to review, and everybody did it differently.
Yeah,
and I cool. Appreciated that. I think the first one out of the gate, I was like, "Holy crap! I have no idea how to do all these, slides, and there were some intricate things, but
And Minutia Minute in the oh, sorry to interrupt you, Brad.
Oh, I was going to say you did yours completely different from like the perspective of the review was completely different. I don't remember exactly how you did it.
I think I made my thing my 5 favorite things about that issue that I reviewed.
Yeah, that was cool.
I just wanted, I had reviewed Hush once before, so I just wanted to do it a different way.
Sure, yeah. And you were saying something about Minutia Minute.
Minutia Minute was the very first person to make a comment on my very first video. So like Tylox, he was in the community, then he kind of went away, and now he's come back.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
So
yeah, I appreciate. Yeah, he does a great Batman thing every week, and it's always shocker. DC or Detective Comics was the favorite of the week. So your 27th subscriber, according to
wow, now that's a good memory. But yeah. I'm pretty sure you were my first comment, Sean.
Wow,
it's at least the first one I can remember.
That's awesome.
And I thought Sean was a big deal at the time because he probably had 60 subscribers or something. He was ahead of me.
And yeah, and since you mentioned that, I've always just called him Minutia Minute. I didn't even know what his real name was.
Oh yeah.
So Sean, yeah. So Sean, within the last week or so, you cracked 500 subscribers. So that's a bit of a milestone. So that's awesome, man. That's awesome. We got a lot of good folks are putting out great content.
Sean has made a great comeback, as Tylox has. I've seen some other people come back and then give up.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, I think, like you said, like getting with understanding how things have changed, and
it shifts around somehow.
And there's still variance, like in the comic community. You could, just because you're a content creator does not mean everybody runs in the same circles. There's branches, and people follow certain people. So
that's totally true.
So Circumstances is wondering what is different now. Is it anything other than the live stream?
Well, the live streams are a big part of it. I'm trying to think, like, because of the live streams, there's less, like on my own videos, there's less comments from people who have their own channels. Because people who have their own channels tend to communicate through either the live stream chat or actually being on a live stream. It used to be that almost everyone commenting on my videos was someone else, like Minutia Minute or Tylox. And that's how we would communicate, through the comments on our, pre-recorded videos.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Tagging was like a must. If
you would tag people,
to see a comment,
response videos, that kind of thing.
You had to do it that way, because there was no way to really tag anybody in anything.
Yeah, and that's what Sean was just saying right here. That's in the old days.
Right. So, the old days, 10 years ago, 8 years ago.
Like, I didn't even think about how long it had been until you said like 7 years ago. And I was like, no, actually, I think it's more like 8, but whatever. We'll go with 7. Just to make me feel less old.
62 Lefty Blue.
You still look
What's
young.
going on? Fellow lefty. So you're obviously a lot like me. I like to point out, if I have a server who's left-handed, I'm compelled to point it out. So I like being left-handed. So I think it's I remember we were doing Watchmen review with Howler Mouse.
Yeah. That was organized by Ghost Critic, who's gone. But yeah.
That's interesting. Where are they now, I wonder?
Oh God.
Where are
more
they?
reviews and less spec?
No one really talked about spec back then.
Yeah,
there was only one spec channel, and it was Mercenaut.
Oh yeah.
But he did it with a certain a certain flair, a certain flavor. So most of the time I would watch his videos and miss the spec. I'd just be laughing at stuff he said so hard.
I can't remember who used to do it, but the first time I heard about slabbing was someone cracking open their slabs.
Wow.
I got it from Cougar Comics. That's who I learned how to break my slab.
Maybe that's who it was. Yeah.
I think so.
That's
Anyway,
interesting.
did you have a box you wanted to open, Brad? We don't want to
Yeah.
totally distract you from
Yeah,
that.
no, that's hey, I don't mind getting derailed from a couple of vets talking about the old days. That is probably more important than what I'm showing anyway.
No,
So
no.
I
That's
appreciate you
just
guys stopping by. The Spectacular Spider. So most of these are spec books. No, I would say when I speculate, I always try to get price matters to me. So if I can get something cheap, like cover price or less, then the risk reward, there's not as great a risk if it doesn't hit, and the reward is through the roof. So but I was just like, I'd done a deep dive into some of these spider characters, and they like to do variants, and Into the Spider-Verse created a lot of that desire to search out different characters. So this is Spectacular Spider-Man 15 this was the second Spectacular Spider-Man series. This is he teams up with Captain America here, but it's the first appearance of Queen Spider. That's the villain in this particular book.
Okay.
But it's like,
and you got that for a good price.
Yeah, I mean, cover price is $225, and I didn't even pay that.
Wow,
so
nice. Yeah. So it doesn't hurt just to keep that around and see what happens with it.
I mean, the stuff that doesn't hit, I think, is always good to, if you do an AOK, throw a couple of those in the box, stuff that you may have, it's never going to go to waste. And I like the fact that if I couldn't have bought it off the shelf for the price that I pay, that's even better.
Yeah.
So, so 8 months. Jimmy G's only been on for 8 months. How about that? Yeah, welcome to the circus. Yeah, I like that cover too, Cole. This is another one. I've been picking this up. Now keep in mind, I ordered this box that I'm opening. Let's see. January 19th. So that's how long it's been sitting behind me in these boxes. So that's the reason why I had to decide, like, hey, if you're reading a book, don't order it, because it's just going to sit back here and you're going to go to the shop and buy another copy.
Right.
So
with your system. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but this has been this book kind of spiked a bit. This is Swordmaster number 1. And he's in the Agents of Atlas. And he just became, so they just did try and get that glare off of there. They just did a new Iron Fist series, and he became Iron Fist. So this book had spiked. This is issue number 1. So his first solo series, super hot book, and a little tough to find. I don't think it was all that well received, but it's got kind of that manga look to it. The artwork.
Is it hotter now than when you ordered it in January?
Yes.
So that's a good thing.
That would be a good call. So I got in early on that one. And I think, and then they're going to do Agents of Atlas at some point. So I would imagine he's gonna pop up somewhere along the way. So let's see. All right. And then I got these over here. So this was actually a character that Sith mentioned. This is X-Men 52. This is the first cameo of a villain named Bastion. And the reason I bought the first cameo was Sith had mentioned they made a toy for Bastion. So, you hope maybe, hey, if they're making a toy, maybe there's something to it.
The X-Men must be one of the ultimate first appearance hunters series.
Yeah,
there's always so many new characters.
Yeah, with the villains, and with I do enjoy. In fact, I've got some X characters in here. This one was this was a second print, but an alternate cover going back to the Star Wars stuff. So this is a bounty hunter, Diva Lompop.
Huh.
And
I like that cover.
Yeah, it seems to get, just kind of show how they.
Oh wait, is that the? Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the variant cover. I have the regular one. Yeah. That's the first appearance.
It's funny they even have drawings of 3 years.
Yeah, I don't know what the significance. I guess in case she changes up her earrings or something.
I guess so. It's like an artist's study sheet or something.
Yeah, I like that. So they did that on the second print. So I picked up a couple of those because I had the other, covers. Now this is a character that when I do mutant spec, I like to get characters that they've used in multiple teams. So if they've used a character a bunch and they've led teams or been a part of other teams, it shows that they're committed to that character. It's just not a one and done. So this is Astonishing X-Men number 4. Cool cover there.
That's a very nice cover.
Yeah, the furry beast cracking open a photo of himself as he first appeared back in early X-Men.
That's very cool.
That is very cool.
Yeah, this one is let me make sure I get this name right. First appearance of Hisako Ichiki, who is her mutant name is Armor, so she can actually create an armor around herself. And they've used her in multiple teams. She's been a part of quite a few.
Right. And
it's kind of a tough, because the book is so dark, it's tough to get a really nice, clean copy. So I try to pick those up whenever I can. And, for a couple of bucks,
and
end up one it's
really, a nice looking comic, whether or not it pops.
Sure. Yeah. So a couple of, let's see some of these slightly older books. So this one is, I was thinking about with Doctor Strange, this multiverse of madness stuff, and like who would be an interesting character to bring out. So this is Marvel Team Up number 92, Spider-Man and Hawkeye.
Mm-hmm.
And they're facing Mr. Fear. So he's got them cowering in the corner there. So there's been a couple of Mr. Fears. This one is Alan Fagan. So it's the second Mr. Fear. But I think I had this as a kid, which is the other reason it appealed to me.
Yeah.
And I've got some of those books on my list that I want to, I see them and I feel something like I recall having those books. So I always try to pick those up.
Marvel Team Up was one of my big favorites as a kid. I mean, because it's so exciting as a kid when two characters you like come together. So
thanks for stopping by, Cole.
Yeah. So you're just guessing that Mr. Fear might show up in the movie?
Yeah, and there again, like it's I think he would be a cool character. Like when you study up on them, some other people that they, obviously he partnered, he went up against Spider-Man and Hawkeye, but there's an earlier version went up against Daredevil. So if that character has battled multiple heroes, then there's also like a character that's used a good bit. Plus in this particular one, it was just a cool Bronze Age, team up book. It's actually in pretty good shape too, surprisingly. So I'm happy about that. But yeah, it's some of that stuff will be, long term, and it's again based on price. It's worth a gamble. It's a good book just to have, just for, hey, I remember this from when I collected as a kid. But if it happens to, hit, then that's good too. This is another oldie here. This is Omega the Unknown, number 9.
Oh yeah, I remember that book. That was a favorite of mine as a kid.
Yeah,
or maybe
I think it lasted like 12.
Right, just a few issues, and they never finished the mystery.
Right.
of what
And
who
then
Omega really was.
right.
And then they did it in the Defenders later, but it was a different writer.
Yeah. And he's had one or two solo series since like early 2000s, early to mid 2000s, but he just popped up in oh gosh, what was it? It was Darkhold Omega, a new book. So so another Omega the Unknown popped up in a recent book. The reason I bought this was the other rabbit hole I went down on was for this is the first appearance of Fool Killer.
I remember Fool
Oh
Killer.
yeah.
So there's been a couple of Fool Killers. There was one that was associated with Man Thing. It's
Right.
you know, it's an older book that would be a little tougher to find. So I kind of went with this one, but I went down a little Fool Killer rabbit hole. Now,
Yeah, he was a Steve Gerber character, both in the Man Thing and in Omega.
right. So his first solo, and this I've got some copies of this older version of Fool Killer, but also some newer Fool Killer stuff. That's what he looked like. And you weren't sure if he killed fools or if he dressed foolishly and killed. You know, it's like the swashbuckling thing going on. I'm not exactly sure. So I picked up, but I thought like, hey, that's his first solo series, and I was intrigued by that.
I didn't even know he had a solo series. Wow.
Yeah, and so, but from there. They did another, like somebody, he passed the mantle on to someone else, and they did another solo, and they went from like swashbuckler Fool Killer to like this mercenary version of Fool, like a little more like Deadpoolish, Punisher type, much more of a mercenary type. So I was like, all right, that's cool. Like I can get on board with. Yeah,
and he's talking to a therapist.
Right. Yeah, just
that's making me want to read it.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of cool. Just I was like, I could see them introducing somebody like that mercenary style, not so much the swashbuckler type, but the mercenary type for sure. So I got 2 of issue 1, but they also had a second print which has the blue title.
Oh,
so, and back in, you'll remember this, Damien. We always thought like second prints were garbage.
That's changed.
It's like, people are looking at print runs now, so they're really.
It makes sense to look at the print run. I mean, if you're looking for collectability,
right?
People never thought about that before.
Yeah. So, last 2 in this box is another. They sent me. Oh, I got a direct and a newsstand, but this is X-Men number 166.
Oh, I remember that issue.
Newsstand and direct. That's pretty cool. And of course, the newsstand, like I always like those. People say, well, there were more newsstands back then, and less directs. But you got to remember those newsstands were sitting on that wire rack, and kids would just like when they're looking through them, they just bend the whole stack down to see what was behind it.
Exactly.
So a lot of those didn't really survive.
And I've seen there's some cutoff date where newsstand became more rare and comic book store became more common.
Yeah,
I don't know what that date is, but along with that is the factor you're talking about.
Right. So this is actually the first appearance of Lockheed. He's on the cover. Not named, but he's actually in. I thought he was on the cover somewhere, but I know he's in this book. So he's named an issue or 2 later. They actually call him Lockheed, but he does appear in this book, and of course he had a very prominent role with Colossus's sister, Magic. They were a tandem for quite a while. So I like these old X-Men.
Did he start as a pet of Kitty Pryde and then move over to Magic?
That's what I'm not sure. I know he was introduced because
I seem to remember he was Kitty Pryde's pet at first.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm about to head out. I got to go to work.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you stopping in. Good catching
No
up with
problem.
you.
Good to see you.
I'll catch up with everybody. I'll call you some point in time, Brad. We got to get together on details for the crawl because it's coming up. It's coming up. Time on it.
Oh, yeah, about that.
Yeah.
I'll be in Dallas that weekend.
Oh, are you serious?
The first weekend in May.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, give me a
Smoking
buzz,
cigars.
man. Yes. That's exactly why I'm going.
I remember you mentioning that.
Nice to see you. I'll see you around.
See you, buddy. Yeah, I'll talk to you this week.
Peace.
Yes, that is exactly what I'm intending on doing, Damien. It's been a while. I'm in a group, and so people from there's people from all over the world in this group. So people are flying. We're all flying to Dallas to just hang out and catch up. And it's been a couple of years since we've been able to do that. So that was yeah. So that's nice.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. So I'm gonna jump into one more. This one I've got some duplicates. So I don't think this one will be. I don't mind when these live things get derailed somewhat because it's nice. It's nice just to catch up with folks and get. That was really interesting about how things used to be and how much it's changed.
Right.
How different it is. And
it's also just a lot more people. It was a small group once upon a time.
Yeah, it's kind of like real estate. I've been in real estate for 9 years, and I've seen the number of real estate agents in my area double since I got into the business, and I blame that primarily on HGTV. But everybody watches HGTV, and they're like, "Oh man, this is easy. You just have 3 houses and you pick one." But that's
right. And no money down, right?
Yeah, that's not exactly the way that works. So
the government's just going to give you money to buy houses. I think I've heard.
I think some people actually think that. Yeah, that's very interesting. But yeah, it's so yeah. Hey, YouTube, let's everybody. Let's all do it. But let's see. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. All right. I'd forgotten about this. That's the one thing about having an order that you receive in January.
You forget what you ordered.
Exactly. It's like Christmas all over again. You have the excitement of placing the order and then forgetting, and then the excitement of jumping, figuring it out again. Gotcha, man. Gotcha. I appreciate it. So, yeah, there's several duplicates in this one. Got a couple of older ones too. I say older, Bronze Age. A couple of Bronze Age in here.
Those are old.
Yeah. Well, I know I told somebody I saw somebody I went to high school with at the grocery store the other day, and I was like, man, that first 50 years went by quick. That's
it does.
It really did. So yeah, I'm gonna keep those older ones for later.
Yeah, I mean, some old comics are expensive, but sometimes I'm amazed. Here, I'm holding like a 55-year-old comic that I bought for a very small amount of money.
Yeah, and I like, I guess the other thing with some of these like Bronze Age, I kind of like the not sure choice for. They introduce so many characters that you just can't. Oh, they appeared in one issue and now they're in a movie, and it's just crazy to me. There were some really cool characters back then, villains and heroes that they introduced back in the day. That it'd be cool if they're going to resurrect Daredevil. Then at what point do you do Stiltman? I mean, you got to do Stiltman at some point, don't you? I mean, seriously.
I love Stiltman.
Yeah.
Visually.
That was the one that Nowhere Bound shared. I was trying to remember the book, and he had a first appearance of Stiltman in Nowhere Bound. What issue was that that you shared? That must
be
cool.
Silver Age, I'm assuming.
Yeah, he had a copy and found a better copy and showed both of them on his channel. So this is in the same vein as that previous Star Wars book. So this is, I guess this was like maybe a 1 in 10, but similar to that design, the design variant. So this is a Ghost Rider series where they were designing, I don't know, he's got like a partial hoof or something going on there, but there is word that they're going to do.
I guess he's even more demonic.
Yeah. One.
Sorry, you're saying there's word that they're going to do.
So they're going to do. Ghost Rider is going to be like multiple. It's going to be more like Ghost Riders. They're going to have multiple versions of Ghost Rider. Man, that was a good looking book, man. That was a lot of fun to watch. Yeah, they're going to have multiple versions of Ghost Rider, so that'll be interesting. This was another, when I realized, hey, don't buy a book that you're trying to read because it'll sit in a box. So I've since replaced this one. So this will go to this will end up in an AOK or something. It'll go to a lovely
insane looking cover.
Yeah. And I've enjoyed I've been kind of stacking this because I'm reading other things right now, but Ram V is writing this this Venom run,
right?
And I've been really enjoying. We talked about this last time, but I've really been enjoying his Swamp Thing run.
Yeah, I've decided to read his Venom run on the Marvel Universe, but I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. So, and he's getting ready to do. Me and GP were talking about this the other day. He's he directed me to. Yeah, I'm talking about you right now, GP Venom Comics. He directed me to another video where they interviewed Ram V and talked about he's doing the Carnage run, which issue 1 just came out last week. He's doing the Carnage run. He's writing that one. He's also got Aquaman, I think it's Andromeda, that's coming up, and the artwork looks fantastic. So I'm considering that, even though I don't buy a whole lot of DC stuff, just for him.
Especially Aquaman, but if it's Ram V, it's worth a try.
Yeah, and if the artwork, I want to flip through. If the artwork on the inside is anything like the cover, then yeah.
Right.
Okay, there. Killer Comic Show. So they interviewed Ram V. He's been on a couple of times actually, and it was cool to hear his process and talk about books he has coming up. So I haven't quite finished that interview, but it was fantastic. This one I thought I was done buying, but apparently not. I have several copies of this book, 1872, and you'll notice like on the tombstone there's
Tony Stark,
Steve Rogers. So this is an alternate reality. I think Steve Rogers is the sheriff of the town or something. Good to see you, man. I appreciate you stopping by. Got to pick up my tricycle motors. All right.
It's one of those tricycle motorcycles or something.
Well, wouldn't that be something, man? I want to see pictures of that, dude. Take lots of pictures during the pickup. So the significance of this book is first appearance of the second Red Wolf, which you can see in the clouds.
I didn't catch that at first. Yeah.
So the Red Wolf in this timeline, they've since gone on, and there's a second werewolf by night who is hunted by this Red Wolf.
Oh, that sounds
so. I was like, all right, they're going to introduce Werewolf by Night. I don't know I don't know which one they use, but if they use the newer one, then for a couple of bucks, I'll take a chance that they're gonna, because he's in that Werewolf by Night, the new version of Werewolf by Night. He's hunted by Red Wolf until they realize they're fighting on the same side. So I'm like, well, if they use the new Red Wolf, or if they use the new Werewolf by Night, then perhaps they'll go with this Red Wolf. So this one is Avengers number 1 from 2010, The Heroic Age, John Romita Jr.
Yeah.
on the cover. First cameo appearance of I think it's the new Avengers or next Avengers or something like that. But the Azari is the son of Black Panther, so they're,
Could it be the Young Avengers?
It was there. I think they were already
in
around.
existence.
Yeah,
okay.
This is like this was from another timeline or something, but it's Azari T'Challa, who is the son of Black Panther in the future. So some people were like speculating that, hey, you got to come up with another Black Panther at some point. I think the plan is for Shuri to be the Black Panther now, but all right. I knew I thought Minutia Minute might be gone so he wouldn't see me share.
He's seen you show that before.
Yeah. That and there's several that he's giving me a little jab about. So yeah, surprise, another copy there. You might Sean, you might end up with one of those in the mail one day or something. You never know. I might just send you an AOK that includes 1872. This one I thought was cool because they just did a what if series with what if Miles Morales became Captain America. So he's still Miles Morales holding the shield, but I thought it was kind of cool. Just a bit of a cover by and not entirely related to that. Not entirely related to that what if series, but just an interesting cover nonetheless. And everything Miles is, it's interesting that growing up, Spider-Man was iconic, as a kid. He was my favorite character back then. And there are kids now who when you say who's Spider-Man, they say Miles Morales. There's people who that's their Spider-Man. Yeah. And it's almost like they've tried to do that in the past and it didn't really stick. But somehow Miles Morales is sticking for sure. So
somehow it's still confusing to me how you can have two characters named Spider-Man, but you should go for 172 copies.
1872 copies of 1872. Yeah, that's
there's a life goal.
Hey, well, if it hits, then we'll all do
you'll have
we'll do a live stream from like a remote island in the Caribbean or something on me. If all 1872 of those issues reach their potential. So
now, have you already managed to sell some of your speculations?
I've been back into collecting. My oldest nephew about a year ago, maybe a little over a year ago, said, hey, what if we do this and do it together? Start collecting comics again together. So it was just a great reason for me to hang out with him more. So we started doing that. And in the last year, I've sold a total of 4 books, I think. So I do have some that I paid $1 for that I sold on eBay for like $35 plus shipping. So I just kind of roll that back in. But if I paid $1, it doesn't necessarily have to be $100 book or a $500 book.
I wasn't meaning to challenge you in any way. I'm just thinking for my own self, I wouldn't be paying close enough attention of when is the right time to sell a book.
Right. Yeah.
I'm too unorganized or something.
Sure. Yeah. Now I've missed opportunities as well. There are times, there are right times. I mean, to me, that one, I had that $1 book. I had 8 copies of that $1 book. So I sold 3 and, and still felt good about, hey, if it hasn't seen its peak, I'm still good. And if it never hits again, if it never spikes to $35 again, I'm good.
Right.
So at $1, that's where I pay attention to the cost and the money. That's
my shop owner claims when things spike, they do come down, but they don't come all the way down. They stay above their original level, he says.
I could see that. Yeah, I could.
And what was I going to say? Anyway, and people will tell me about books that are hot, and I'll go, "Oh, wait, that's in my collection. That's in my collection." But then by the time I've thought about it again, they're probably not as hot again.
Is it hard for you to put your hands on a comic that you know is in your collection?
Well, that's partially a factor. The other thing is I'm just kind of lazy and I'm not that motivated.
You don't
Like,
really care to sell it if you don't. I mean, do you
I
sell
mean,
anything?
I think if someone knocked on my door and said, "Hey, I want to buy that issue of Thor with Gore the God Killer for $150 or something," I would say yes. But to go to all the trouble, I just am not focused on that.
Right.
My mind is not focused on that.
Right. But it would be nice to get
it would be fun to make
$150.
it. It's good to. Well, I have traded in some hot books to my comic book shop for credit. That's the furthest I've gone.
Right. So are you organized enough that you, I mean, could you put your hands on a book quickly? How many
Not right
boxes do
now.
you have?
Not right now.
Like, how many, you've been collecting for a long time. How many boxes do you have? Like,
I've lost track of the boxes, but CLZ tells me I have just under 14,000 comics.
Okay.
And there may be some I never entered into boxes? CLZ. Sorry, they're all in short boxes.
Okay.
And in the past few months, I've been trying to reorganize them, and they're actually now less organized because I'm halfway through the reorganization.
Oh,
if you know that experience of when you tear things apart and put them in different piles.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm like, so that's what these boxes lined up behind me. You can't even see all of them, but they're all lined up, and that's what I'm currently doing. I will say, you may have seen me show this before, but I will say a fantastic tool that really helps. So I started doing the dividers.
Yes, I need to buy more dividers. I have some, but not enough.
Yeah, that's not as good. Let's do it this way again. Yeah, I bought some of these dividers, but the thing, I can look at a glance. Now I've got to order some more, but I also did the tabs. Have you seen those tabs?
No, I have not.
So instead of writing on there, you put the tab and you can like instantly see, okay, that's where my Kazar is, or that's where my Ghost Rider is, and it's actually been really nice. It's helped me organize things a bit. I've still got a little ways to go, and I'm also trying to figure out, okay, that box is full. How do I shimmy another box in there to overflow and, help things? It's not as fun organizing as it is collecting. I don't have.
Yeah, no, it's not as fun.
Yeah, I don't have nearly as much fun doing the organizing.
And part of what's thrown me off is all the indie comics I collect, because they all have such short runs. I just don't have enough dividers for all of them, so then it starts getting messy. I just start putting them in boxes that say 2021 or something.
Right.
So I'll organize that later, and that's a mistake.
Yeah.
I see GP Venom is telling me that I'm $100 off, so maybe I should be trading that in at my shop soon.
Yeah, that's yeah, 250 is not bad. And there again, timing, we still haven't seen the trailer. When that trailer hits, you might be able to add $200 to your number.
Yeah.
I mean,
I hear that once the movie comes out, it goes down a little bit.
Yeah, you could go back
leading up to the movie that peaks.
Sure. Yeah. Sam Wilson as Captain America. Now is actually probably a good time to buy that stuff, because it's, Winter Soldier Falcon and Winter Soldier seems like a really long time ago. Thanks for coming by, Nowhere Bound. We appreciate you, man.
Does Nowhere Bound have a channel? I probably should check that out.
He does. Yeah, he does. And check out, I would recommend that first one be the Daredevil 8 with Stiltman, where he
that'd be nice.
Shows a lot of fun. That was a cool video there. So I've got a few more. Let's see. So basically, because Swordmaster was hot, anytime I saw Swordmaster, I was picking up. This is issue 3, still in that manga style. And I don't know that there's a lot of significance to that particular book. I think there's issue 1, 2, 9, and 12 are kind of the hot ones in that run. But when I picked up those, I think I was more like, oh gosh, there's any Swordmaster at all available. Let me jump on those for a good price. But when I grabbed those, I also bought 4 more of issue 1.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the price I pay for these, they've gone up a good bit and been a little tough to find. This, if they're going to use him. I mean, they have plans for him. So the price I paid for these, it might be worth even, grading one of these or something.
Right.
In case something happens.
So, and then you need to pay close attention to that timing then to
Correct.
sell, especially if you get a good grade or something.
Yeah. If you sold your Gore the God Butcher when the first trailer hit, you're probably going to maximize what you can make.
Right.
You'll spike. I mean, if you could make another $50 to $100 on that book, it's worth it. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I do like getting store credit from my comic shop because I think he gives me a pretty fair shake on that, and so I might bring him the Gore the God Killer and a few other things that I've got.
Comic Fu, what is going on? He was another member of our Hush. I think Comic Fu did the first video in our Hush review. So that's it intimidated the heck out of me because I think at the time I had only done maybe like 2 or 3 videos, and Tylox asked me to do that review, and I was like, my first instinct was to say no, and then I was like, you know what, I'm going to take a chance on this, even though I don't have all the resources I need. I bought the trade paperback, and I made sure I spaced it out where I was reading everybody's comic the week that the review was coming up.
Yeah.
So I was prepared to do.
Had you read it in the past, or was it a first time?
First time. Sure. Yeah, first time. It was interesting reading it in the trade because it was just each issue, it was like banger after banger of villain. I mean, it was just like the rogues gallery for Batman. I mean, everybody was in it.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy that story, the storyline as well. So
yeah, if I were to give someone one Batman trade, who hadn't read Batman before, I'd give him that one, I think.
Oh, cool. Look at that. We've had quite a few people sub each other on the show. So
that's very nice.
We're if you don't make it through the so far hour and 18 minutes we've been on, if nothing else, we've helped grow the community. So that's awesome.
Yes.
So up next, Young Allies number 5. So this one in particular.
Wow.
Dealing with
I know that was a 1940s book. I didn't know they did it again.
Great for 1940s. Yeah. This is the second series. So they did the 1940s, and then the next time they touched on the Young Allies was this. So this spec relates to that Spider character right there. So she is.
Okay.
Let me get this name right. Anya Corazon. So Aranya, which is Spanish for spider.
Spider.
And she's a spider character. So in this issue, she becomes Spider Girl. So she actually takes on the moniker of Spider Girl. So cheap book. I picked up a few of those.
That seems like a good bet. I bet she'll show up somewhere.
Well,
they're doing a lot of Spider-Verse movies or cartoons or whatever coming up, I bet.
Yeah, and that was my gamble with that Red Wolf as it related to Werewolf by Night. So that the new Werewolf by Night is a younger Mexican-born character who adopts those. I don't remember how exactly I read it, but I don't remember how exactly he became Werewolf by Night. But they're trying to expand their roster.
Right.
Back in the day, well, Marvel Comics actually probably was more integrated than any. I mean, I remember loving the Falcon. I had the Mego of the Falcon back in the day, and that. So, but I think they're trying to just introduce more.
I think they were doing a pretty good job in the Bronze Age.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Then it maybe got less so during the 90s or something.
I'd agree with that.
And now it's, these things come in swings in and out of fashion, I guess, to try to make up for the diversity problems.
Right. So that was my thing, was maybe they're gonna diversify that character and bring them about. So all right, so this one's been all right. So we're going to finish up with a couple more oldies here.
Cool.
Or somewhat oldies. I'll go with the newest oldie first. And we've got some more Marvel team up for you there, Damien. So that's all right. So this is Secret Wars 2, issue 5. And
I'm pretty sure I have that in my collection.
Yeah, so this is the first appearance of Boom Boom. She is an X character and has been featured quite a bit in various teams. So she's still in their rotation today, hasn't disappeared. She's had quite a few names over the years, but thanks for stopping by, buddy. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you coming by, and glad he usually pops in as I'm saying goodbye. So he was one of the first ones in today. So that was good to be a part. What's up, Chop? How you doing, man? So yeah, she's a prominent character. So I've been picking this one up if I can find it for a decent price. I mean, this series was from '85, which this is the second Secret Wars series, if you can believe it. But from back in '85, and I like Boom Boom as a character. And like I said, I mean, she was just, I think they just did like a Secret X-Men, and she's a member of the Secret X-Men on that team.
Okay.
So, these were kind of cool. This is Marvel 2-in-1, number 29.
I try to collect all of those.
Okay. So do you have this one?
I can check my CLZ, but I think so. Number 29.
Yeah.
I might not. I had them all. I had a lot as a kid, but then I didn't have them as an adult. Let me see.
Yeah. So this issue is actually the second appearance of Spider-Woman.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So this one, they listed this as very good to find. A couple little spine ticks, but I mean, the corners look fairly nice. But yes, that's the.
I do have that issue. Yes.
Cool. Yeah.
So I'm rich.
Fighting Hydra. Yeah, I don't know. It's when you can't afford the first appearance, people usually go to the second appearance or the first solo appearance, or first meetings is also
right.
Very, very popular. When you can't.
I only realized recently my second appearance of the Punisher and Spider-Man that I have is worth something. I didn't know that.
That was a great run back then. The first appearance of Jigsaw is an issue where I think Punisher is on a some kind of like lift or something that's going across a river, and Spider-Man's fighting Nightcrawler or something. And but I think that's the first appearance or first cameo appearance of Jigsaw. And I remembered having that issue. So I've got that on my want to buy list at some point, just for that reason. But there's a lot of cool, that second appearance is probably, I'd have to look it up, but it's a relevant book. It's an important book. Early appearance of the Punisher. I mean, nobody pulled off those white go-go boots like the Punisher. Nobody.
Quite the fashion icon.
Absolutely. So
I had the first appearance of the Punisher and Hulk 181 as a kid, and lost both of them. No idea where they went.
Probably well read as well.
Yeah, so they probably were not in good shape.
Yeah. Fold it up and put it in your back pocket and carry it wherever you're going. And yeah, we read our books back then for sure. So this one is Marvel Team Up number 120. And this is, let me get my notes here because there's been a couple of versions of Dominic Fortune, one of which appeared in a magazine, and I want to say it was either like Punisher magazine or Moon Knight magazine or something like that. But this is David Fortunov, Dominic Fortune.
Uh-huh.
And so it's his first appearance. And I had this back in the day. Both of these are direct versions, but I picked up two of them for a couple of bucks. And I save some of these Bronze Age books. That's the era that I don't necessarily think it's the best era, but it's the one I'm most familiar with.
Yeah.
I think
I do not have that one. My highest Marvel team up is 118.
Okay. And does it tell you how high that goes?
I can click here and then I'll find out. What's the last issue of Marvel team up? It went up to issue 150.
Okay. Did it just happen that way, or are you collecting those in a certain order, or are you just...
No, it's just whenever I see them for decent prices at stores, I'll grab them.
And your list is thorough and up to date?
I'll check. I have it on my phone, and I'll check my phone and see if I already have it.
Right. Gotcha.
Sometimes it's hard not to rebuy a cool cover.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and I like that idea of, like, sharing with, if you can pass it on to somebody else or something, that's
true. I do that with some of my most favorite comics. I'll double up. I don't know if you remember Commandy, but I often buy doubles of Commandy because I like that, and I like to give that to people.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. All right. So last book, and this is the oldest of the older books, and beautiful colors on this one. Daredevil 91, first appearance of Mr. Fear. So this is a different Mr. Fear. Correct. But I was like, God, all right, so he's fought Daredevil, he's fought Hawkeye, he's fought Spider-Man, all of which have had their own shows or movies, or I was like, he'd be a pretty cool character to introduce. But I mean, the color is just... We talked about this.
Yeah, that's a really sharp looking cover. I mean, those colors are strong. Let me see. I'm trying to see if I have that. I don't think I have that issue. What issue was it again?
91.
91. I do have it. Huh. I'm going to go look for it.
Cool.
I'm learning a lot from this.
Good. Well, to not be a spec
people
guy.
think I know everything, but sometimes, you know a lot of things I just don't.
I certainly, I've credited you more than once with knowing everything. So I'm glad.
I have lots of stuff I know and lots of stuff I don't know. So it's cool to.
Well, that's the beauty about all this. Probably in on the surface, you probably would not have a lot of interest in speculation type things, but go looking at some older books and some stuff that you're...
As it ties into comics history, though, it's really interesting.
Sure. Yeah.
I just don't think I'm going to become rich myself from speculating on comics, so I don't worry about it. But
right. But if you can fund the hobby with it, then yeah. That's a fun cover though. I like that one. That blue is just so vibrant. I think we had a vibrant old book last time you were on, and something about the colors and the paper and the way the ink adhered to the paper back then was just... They don't make them like that anymore.
Yeah, I think the printing process got worse even in the late 70s. So the earlier 70s ones are better than the late 70s one. That might have been what we were talking about last time.
Right. Yeah.
I have to go pick up my car from the shop.
Well, I appreciate you.
I'm glad you're open to having me hang out with you again. A lot of fun.
Oh yeah, man. Anytime. You're always welcome, and I appreciate you. Swinging by, man. That was a lot of fun, and glad I had some things that you're actually collecting. That's awesome. So I'm going to keep.
I learned a lot here.
Good. Well, I'm going to keep picking up those Bronze Age books. Good luck on the car, and I will see you around. Thank you so much for stopping by. All right, folks. Well, that is Dave Collects. Yeah. What is going on, man? Hope you're doing well, buddy. It was good seeing you for a little while on Saturday. I know you had some connectivity issues, but hey, man, we've got good internet in South Carolina if you're looking to relocate, buddy. So it's but of course, if you're, your job would be eliminated completely here. So yeah, you'd have to work at like a beach resort instead of ski resort. So guys, that is cool. All right. Yeah, man. Well, it was good to see you ever so briefly, and always a good time on Spine Ticks for sure. And but guys, I made it through 2 boxes. There's 8 left. I've got 8 left, more on the way. So this is what I've got to find a time and a place to sort. This is what we worked our way through today. That's from 2 boxes. Every box is about 15 to 20 books. So had some good Bronze Age stuff. I think my favorite, of course, is the Daredevil 91 with Mr. Fear. I think there's been about 3 or 4 different Mr. Fears, but he would be a cool character, if a version of Mr. Fear has battled Daredevil and Hawkeye, Spider-Man, and Lord knows who else. It'd be a cool villain to introduce some of these other characters. So, guys, I appreciate you swinging by. If you're watching on the rewind, I appreciate you. Thanks again. I was humbled and honored to yeah, man, I appreciate it, buddy. I was humbled and honored to hit 100 subs yesterday. So super excited about that. They weren't lying when they said, I did my first video in August of 2021. They weren't lying when they said that first 100 is the toughest to get to. So it was just doing something I enjoy, and having some other like-minded people hop on and support and watch. You all you guys were instrumental in getting me there. So I appreciate it. And we'll keep doing what we do. And thanks so much, man. I appreciate you. And Chop, you're everywhere, man. You were on my list this morning. I watched one of your videos. Yeah, it was this morning. There's blurring together. This morning or yesterday morning? I think it was this morning. But yeah, onward and upward, man. We'll keep on. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. I enjoyed doing this, and yeah, I know. Who knows, man? It's crazy. But yeah, guys, I appreciate all y'all. Comic Foo, I'm gonna catch you this week. Catch up on some of your stuff. I got a couple of you guys I got you on my list to catch up on some things, and I appreciate you all stopping by. Thank you for the support. I'm going to throw it right back at you, and hope you all have a fantastic week. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time. Take care, guys.